This time around, I received a very heavy package. That's because it contains not one, not two, but 3 boxes labeled Bigme. 2 of them were combined in a sleeve-style outer cover. For those who may not know, Bigme is a Chinese company specializing in production of various devices, most of them featuring e-ink screens as their standout characteristic. And they also sell different accessories for them. Also included is a screen protector. So let's talk about those 3 boxes. One of the 2 boxes under the same sleeve contains the Bigme B1051c tablet. The B1051 series consists of 5 devices. There is an older sibling, the Pro version, and a younger sibling, the Lite version. They differ in the processor used and in memory and storage configuration. So the Pro version uses MediaTek 1080 processor. It features 8 GB of RAM and 256 of storage, and it is also only available with a color screen. The C version, which is this one, has 6 GB of RAM and 128 storage, and the Lite version has 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. The C version and the Lite version are available in 2 flavors, with a color screen and with a black and white screen. The technology used for the color e-ink screen is Kaleido 3. Compared to Kaleido 2, or Kaleido Plus as it is also known, Kaleido 3 doubles the pixel density, jumping from 150 to 300 ppi. This number is significant for any type of screen, but it is especially important for color e-ink screens. Apart from the tablet, the same box also contains a stylus, more on that later, and a small box of accessories. The accessories include spare stylus nibs, a tool to help remove them, a USB to Type-C cable, and a card ejector tool for the memory card slot. The second sleeve-covered box contained a regular case, which is top-notch in quality. Everything is well fitted and neatly glued with no loose edges. The cutout for the camera is precise, and the case itself is magnetic with a flap on the side that attaches with magnets. The tablet itself also snaps into place using magnetic force. There is no elastic bands and no clasps. The third, separate box contains what appeared to be another case, but it turned out to be a case with a built-in keyboard. The keyboard case also has a magnetic flap, though both of them are somewhat unnecessary and very easy to lose. So most probably, after you receive any of those, you will put those back into the box not to lose them. Also, none of the cases include a dedicated holder for the stylus, and the stylus also attaches magnetically, and it also could be easily lost. My only concern with the cases is they make it a little bit hard to reach the power button, but this is not exactly an issue since there are sensors that turn the display on and off whenever you open or close the cover. While keyboard cases that turn tablets into makeshift laptops have existed for at least over a decade, this one stands out for a few reasons. First, it has a generously sized touchpad with physical left and right click buttons hidden under the touchpad surface. Second, it has a 6-row keyboard with function keys, which is F1 to F12, repurposed for the media controls but still present. For someone like me, who relies heavily on using the F keys, this is a big plus. The keyboard has a short travel distance, but feels decent to type on, about as good as you expect from a membrane keyboard. Most importantly, there is no Bluetooth, no battery. It connects to the tablet via spring-loaded 5-pin connector, which seems to be a USB one. The connector is on the keyboard side rather than the tablet's. The tablet just has 5 posts for the pins, meaning repairs are easier if it breaks. But still, care should be used when inserting the tablet into the keyboard case. Unlike the other case, this one is not magnetic, it uses clamps, and the back cover can also be folded in half, so it will act like a stand. And when inserting the tablet, do not slide it from the side. What you need to do is to put the tablet near the connector at an angle and then press down on it until it snaps into the clamps. This will significantly reduce the stress on the connector, and everything should last you a long time. On the tablet, there are 2 keyboards installed. One is a Chinese one and the other one is regular Google Gboard. If you are using several input languages, there might be a confusion how to switch between them, since the Chinese keyboard has different hotkeys for that. However, for the Gboard, to switch between input languages, you have to press Ctrl and space. The tablet itself weighs about the same as most other tablets, which is a bit over 400 grams. With its 10-inch 4:3 ratio screen, it is comparable in size to an office laptop, just smaller in screen diagonal. The keyboard case is heavy though, likely due to some weights inside to stabilize the setup. Together, the tablet and keyboard weigh about the same as a laptop. So that is why, if you plan to buy this tablet with the keyboard case, I recommend getting a regular case too, especially for the times when you don't need the keyboard and just want to use the tablet as an e-reader. In the normal case, it will be lighter and more convenient. Also, don't forget to apply the screen protector, since e-ink screens are even more fragile than regular ones. However, since the screen is very large, don't expect the protective film application to be perfect. The device has only one button. It doesn't have volume control rocker, which in my opinion is a little bit inconvenient. It also lacks a 3.5mm headphone jack. The only connections you have is the slot for the memory card and the USB Type-C port. And as analog audio is not supported, if you want wired headphones, you will need digital USB headphones, or you can connect your Bluetooth headphones. The onboard audio on the tablet itself is mono. You will get stereo sound if you connect headphones, however, the tablet itself has only one speaker. The stylus is very different from previous Bigme models. Here I have 4 different styluses, or should I say styli? The first one is the cheapest one you can get anywhere, and basically it is a finger replacement, which works with all types of capacitive touchscreens, including this one, but the only thing you can do is use it to click icons and interface buttons. You cannot use the stylus to draw on the tablet. The other stylus is basically the same thing, styled as a pencil, however it doesn't have a nib. Instead, it has a relatively big circle on the end. It also works in the interface, and it also cannot be used for drawing. This stylus is from a previous Bigme model I reviewed earlier. It uses an internal battery, so the stylus can support different functions, and it doesn't work with this 10-inch model at all. The included stylus doesn't use a battery, so it doesn't require charging, and it doesn't work with the previous 7-inch version at all. However, with this version, you can use it to control the interface and as a drawing tool. The stylus works through the protective film as well, and its unique feature is the spring-loaded button on the top, which functions as an eraser. And in general, when drawing, it feels closer to sketching on real paper with light pencils and watercolors, and the washed out colors is the way the color e-ink technology displays color at this point in its development. Which brings us to the main feature of this tablet, which is the Kaleido-free color e-ink screen. Compared to previous versions, the display is crisp and vibrant. There are various refresh modes for different tasks, improving usability. However, the limitations of e-ink technology still persist. Having said that, this is one of the better implementations. As for performance, this tablet is powered by Dimensity 900 chipset from MTK. The Pro model uses Dimensity 1080. So this C model scored 360,000 points in benchmarks, not exactly groundbreaking, but sufficient for most tasks. The performance of this tablet is held back more by the e-ink screen than the hardware. With 6 GB of RAM and 128 of storage, this version handles reading, note-taking, and light productivity tasks with ease. However, for multitasking, the Pro version with 8 GB of RAM would be a better option, and you will also get more performance due to a better chipset. The tablet runs Android 14, which is one of the latest versions of Android, but it uses a custom launcher. However, it's not a windowed interface you would expect from a laptop replacement, And it also, for some reason, lacks multitasking features such as split screen, which is not available for this launcher. However, these features could be added by installing a different launcher. The launcher also doesn't have the free button navigation. You're supposed to use gestures for navigation or the floating bow, which expands into a menu when you tap on it. I am not a big fan of this floating bow thing. Thankfully, you can disable it in the settings. The tablet has no problem downloading apps from Google Play Store, and the interface is easy to use, and it also has tips for first-time users. The only drawback is this tablet doesn't pass any security checks in Google Play Store. One of the previous Bigme models I reviewed also had that problem. However, it was partially rectified by a software update, which enabled the previous model to pass at least some of the integrity checks. This model did receive a software update as soon as I powered it up and connected to the internet. However, this issue still persists, so maybe it would be rectified in some future release. But since this tablet lacks NFC, that's not big of a deal. For productivity, the tablet works well for reading emails, editing and reading documents, working in spreadsheets, and even video calls. However, do remember that it doesn't have a front camera. Applications like Google Docs and Sheets, Microsoft Office 365 and similar run fine, and using the e-ink screen significantly reduces eye strain during long work sessions. The screen is very high resolution. However, in color e-ink screens, that's a little bit complicated since not all of the pixels can display all colors. So the pixels can display a color, but not all of them. If you want to learn why, watch my previous reviews of Bigme products. And also, despite all attempts to increase the refresh rate of the screen, it maxes out at about 30 FPS, not more. That means that when you use the touchpad, the mouse cursor on the screen will be a little bit jerky. That's the limitation of e-ink technology. The battery capacity is also not very impressive. It's 3700 mAh, which is okay, but it could be much, much bigger. The device has a camera, which is a 5 megapixel sensor, probably from Samsung, and it takes okay photos. However, the primary use of the camera is not taking photos, but rather taking pictures of documents, so later you can use the embedded OCR, image recognition software, to convert the pictures to text documents. So it's more of a document scanner than a photo camera. The device also has some AI support in the form of Bigme GPT, which is a GPT chat. And basically, that's it. This tablet is definitely not for everyone. It is not a full replacement for traditional screens, and you will have to use other devices for other tasks. However, for specific use cases, like reading, and by reading books, I mean all possible applications for doing so, including Kindle, creating documents, typing emails, drawing, and general long sessions where you need to stare at a screen, it is a perfect choice, mostly due to the much reduced eye strain. So if you prioritize eye comfort and enjoy experimenting with unique devices, it's worth considering to get yourself one. And if you have made up your mind, the purchase link is in the description.
I am the god of YouTube!
Like, subscribe, jingle bells.